First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakal Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. And shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four corners of the earth proclaiming this truth. You know, in places that you wouldn't think that there would be an Israelite camp or one Israelite or two Israelites going out on the streets and teaching. You know, and it's very risky to do so, you know, when you're, you know, in places where, well, you don't think that there'd be an Israelite nearby, but you're taking the risk anyways to go out there and teach, you know. So for that, I want to say brakatham, you know, because it's all about edifying the elect. That's our main reason for doing this, is to edify the elect, to build each other up, to build upon what others are teaching and to back each other up. Because this word is to magnify, you know. You know, if a brother's bringing out a lesson, you know, you just want, kind of like yesterday, you know, I knew that there was a live sit-down at GMS Vegas, and it's just like, man, the Spirit got on me. It's like, well, I could already think about that. That was in Daniel chapter 9, you know. The fact that what would happen is that Jerusalem would fall, you know, and we would be, that's when we officially became a scattered nation. We was already scattered before that, but this is when Jerusalem itself had fallen, and we had strayed so bad that we were adding foreskin to those that were already uncircumcised. We were adding foreskin upon ourselves. That this is how much, you know, our people hated being an Israelite. It's not easy to be an Israelite, of course not. But to hate it that bad, when you're already circumcised and you're purposely adding foreskin, you know, it's just, it's insanity. But yet, you know, you're seeing it happening now, you know, in the essence of, you know, people that have been in either Great Millstone or other camps, and then they're just going back to being a Christian afterwards, you know, because they really were never a part of it. They really couldn't take the sacrifice. They couldn't take the idea that they were an Israelite, you know. They just rather go back to being nothing, going back to being those bywords, you know, pretty much just, you know, trying to find ways for Esau to be grafted in, you know. And Esau can never be grafted in. The devil will never be a part of the kingdom except for the part of building it up, because we are going to have slaves to build it up. Of course, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with a sword must be killed by the sword. And that's why, you know, our main captors are the Rothschild Rockefellers. They're the ones that have us in captivity now. So, of course, those are going to go into slavery. You know, because those are our captors, pretty much. But those that kill with a sword, thus, the majority of these Edomites are going to die in World War III, the thermonuclear war. The weapons of his indignation. They're going to launch these weapons, and you can see that happening, you know. It reminds me of an album I used to listen to when I was younger, kind of found it, again, you know, Roger Waters, Pink Floyd, put out an album called Radio Chaos, and it's all about, you know, a biohacker that hacks into the system and decided that he's going to launch the nuclear weapons because he's tired of the fear of this world dying in annihilation. It was based upon the movie War Games. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen War Games, but pretty much they hack into the mainframe computer and then they launch the nuclear weapons, but it was just a game. You know, and that's all that this is a game. We're in a game right now, and pretty much Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakal Kadash, has a game plan for all of us, and we're just trying to play our scripts, you know. So those that were meant to be in the truth are going to stay in the truth, and those that weren't were meant to be examples, just like what happened when Yahushai was here. Same thing happening now, you know, because, as they say, history repeats itself again, especially through regeneration, reincarnation, you know. And so we're here now, you know, proclaiming this truth, you know, and, you know, not going to break our stride, you know. No one is going to hold us down, you know. We got to keep on moving, got to keep on pushing this thing, you know. Depression, all these other things, of course they soar over us. I'm a man of constant sorrow. It's a constant downpour. But I also know how to carry it, because most of these Edomites, they can't carry anything. They can't carry jack shit. They wouldn't be able to deal with the stresses that an Israelite goes through. They fucking kill themselves. They can't even fucking deal with the idea of being poor. You know, these bankers and all that, they find out that their shit just crashed. They're killing themselves. Remember that? You know? But most of all, these people that, you know, had, you can say incarcerated us, well, they're going to have to build the kingdom up. So, I'll read out of Isaiah chapter 60. Arise, shine, for thy light has come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon them. You know, and that's the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakal Kadash. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. And this form, he's talking about all the other nations are going to see Israel shining, you know, because we're going to be the light of that world once again, you know, because this is the time of our restoration. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see, all these gather themselves together that come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see, and flow together, and thine heart shall fear, and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea we shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. You know, because, of course, you know, they're going to want this. They're going to want to, you know, come here to honor Yahweh Shai. You know, come unto us. The multitude of camels shall cover thee. And Yahweh Shai is going to be here, too. The dromadates of Midian and Ephah, all of them from Sheba, shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praise of Yahweh. You know, and again, you know, Yahweh Shai is going to be here, you know. All the people around the world are going to flock to us because they know that we have this truth. You know, they're going to see us shining. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nibarath shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance or my altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Where are these that fly as a cloud, as the doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold, with them unto the name of the Lord, thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel. That's talking about Yahweh Shai, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build the walls. And a lot of people like to use this one to say that you know, all these other nations are going to be partakers of it. They're going to be partakers in observance of honoring the Most High, but they're not going to be a part of Israel. And the sons of strangers shall bring up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. You know. Therefore the gates shall open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night. They must bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and their kings may be brought. For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve shall perish, yea, these nations shall be utterly wasted. And that's what's going to happen, especially Esau, Edom. You know, place of Babylon the Great, America is going to be destroyed. All this around us, not going to be here anymore, you know. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together to beauty. The plate of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. You know, we're going to finally be glorious, you know, to all these other nations, you know, because the Most High is about to send his son Yahweh Shai to gather his people, you know, the elect, and hopefully we're part of that elect, that 1/3, the house of David, you know, the tabernacle of David, you know, and that's why we're pushing as hard as we are. We're striving for this. Because we want to be magnified. We want to be glorified. We want this. You know? And it's going to show who wants it and who doesn't want this. A lot of people are going to bail out. We're seeing that. You know? People are bailing out, going back to Christianity, going back to the ways of Esau, you know? Or changing their doctrine to where it says, well, not all Edomites are going to be destroyed. You know? Changing it to where Esau, some of Esau can be spared. But that's not going to happen. You know, Esau, Edom must be destroyed. That man of sin, Esau, has to be destroyed. because he was the first murderer. He was a murderer from the beginning, Cain. And sadly, though, our people were turned to Gentiles, turned unto the other nations because of our disobedience, you know. And that happened in 70 AD. But now we're coming back to where we once were, you know. Now we're going out and getting circumcised and wearing the circumcision, you know, and saying, hey, I'm an Israelite. I'm not any of these bad words, you know. I'm a Confusion of Faith Israelite. That's why the channel's called Confusion of Faith Reading. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I know who I am now. I know what my identity is. You know, my identity has been established in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakal Kadash. And it is He that had awakened me to this truth. You know, let me know that I was an Israelite. Let me know who the real ones were. Because I knew that those Zionists who call themselves Jews, they weren't the real ones. There's no way they could be. You know, for one, you know, they don't even match the hue, the color of everybody else in the Middle East. You know, but blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans match the hue. They match the color of everybody else that's in the Middle East. You know, it makes more sense now. And I would never would have learned this in Christianity, so why would I want to go back to Christianity? There was no hope. There's no answers. It's all lies. You know, most of all, they didn't teach us the Bible. They taught us Christianity, a doctrine of devils. Those are our enemies. We know who our enemies are. You know, so I hope this has been edifying. You know, just keep on pushing, because this long, hard road is just about to get a little bit more tough, and it's time to build each other up so we can face the toughest. That is Jacob's trouble, when the mark, the RFID, will be mandatory. So practice fasting now while we still can, and everything else that we must build up. That's what we're doing, is building up the house of David. We have to be strong. We're about to face a time of trouble since was never from the beginning. But look at what we're going to be come into, what we're going to be brought into. We're going to shine upon all the nations. They will come to see us. Shalom.